Hello there, Oops back again, and we're back for some more 6 max action. I uploaded a video earlier just to test out some settings and stuff, and Roots directed me to one of the Bears videos, What a Legend, and he suggested getting Camtasia, which I found, and it's pretty good. And Bear says it's expensive. I'm pretty sure it's not expensive, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it looks really good, and but I'm waiting to see what the file size of this is going to be. It's probably going to be huge, but hopefully it won't be. Hopefully it won't be. But yeah, if you watched my other video, this one is probably going to be different. I'm probably going to be pausing it. I'm probably going to play for an hour, see what goes on, and I'm probably going to be pausing it and then just coming back to hands that I'm in, or hands that other people are in, or bringing back hands that other people have been in, and playing them again in the little player thing up here, and telling you what I was thinking when I saw the way they played. Because I think something that's quite overlooked in poker is focusing on your opponents instead of focusing on what you have in the board. You should be focusing more on what your opponent could have, and if the flop hits their range and whether they will fold to a bet. Well, that's what I think anyway. That's my opinion. It's probably, I don't know if it's wrong or not, but yeah. Okay, so we just sat down. This guy on my left is a total fish. I can just tell that from the first 5-6 hands. He's totally crazy, so I'm still a bit stumped as to the best strategy to play against these kind of crazy players. I'm not sure whether you should just be knitting up, trying to hit a good top pair kind of hand and just value betting them to shit, or should you be playing like more suited connectors and then letting them hit a top pair kind of hand. But you could say that about anyone. Like, that's the strategy you use against everyone, is playing like small suited connectors and then hitting a monster. But against a total fish who's likely to stack off with top pair, should you be playing more suited connectors? I don't know. It's an interesting. That was a pretty crazy pot. I'm going to bring this one back here, and definitely going to be noting this Rutty guy. Okay, we got a button raise from Rutty, a really weird kind of mini free bet from Chaos Pilot and the small blind, a call on the big blind, on the button, sorry. I'm going to fold that, and this guy leads out $2 into 275 on that board, which is pretty standard for a free bet pot, but he didn't free bet the right amount, which is quite weird. And we get a flat call on the button, and then the turn brings another 6, and it goes check bet for just over half the pot with this guy on the button who's betting with his flush draw. This guy flat calls, king of spades on the river. He goes check bet and he bets $8 into 14, which is a stone cold bluff. And the small blind flat calls. He shows air, and this guy shows a pair of 10s, obviously giving this guy no respect. So very good call by Chaos Pilot. I can't work out if that was a really good call or quite a bad one, because given the action, I mean, I don't know if I'd call an $8 bet on the river with 2 6s. Don't know anything about the guy, and there's a king on the river, but that's just me. I'm going to put a note on this guy that he bluffed the river. Well, he bluffed the turn and bluffed the river. with air. Oops. No pun intended. And I'm going to put a note on this guy. We'll happily call big bets with top pair, big mid pair kind of hands. That way, by putting that note on him, that he's willing to call big bets with top pair, mid pair kind of hands if he thinks he's good. That means when I hit a set against him, I don't necessarily want to be value betting him. I want to be betting bigger, because he'll call me. He'll call big bets. Like, you know, when you're in those spots where you hit a monster, but you don't know whether your opponent's going to pay you off with a big bet. He will pay me off with a big bet. What note have I got on this guy? Oh yeah, this guy earlier, when I sat down, this guy raised his big blind and he 3-bet him, and he 4-bet him back, and he folded. So now I know he's got that in his arsenal. So it's good to put it there. I don't know anything about this Tosha guy, and Warner is a stone cold fish. I'll be looking to make money off of him, but I'm going to see what he does and try and figure out the best way to get his money. So yeah, those are my initial reads. I'm probably going to pause it and then play it when I get a decent hand. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Interesting part developing here. This guy raised on the button again, and Chaos Pilot decides to 3-bet a lot bigger. He 3-bet the right amount, or just over the right amount, and Ratty flat calls on the button. And Chaos Pilot leads out very weakly for less than half the pot. The pot's now $10. Turns the 6 of diamonds. Will Chaos Pilot continue? I hope he does, because I want to see at showdown what these guys are doing. And the turn brings an 8, very jewelry board, pretty scary. And Chaos Pilot shows ace queen, and let's find out what Ratty had. Ratty had top pair as well, jack queen. It's pretty sick. Picked up the flush draw on the turn and the gut shot. No, sorry, he didn't have a gut shot. It's still pretty sick hand. If this guy raises my button, I'm going to 3-bet him. Raises my blind, I'm going to 3-bet him, because I can just tell this is the kind of player who wants to be feeling me out. Now he just folds. I think this guy's quite competent, and because I saw this guy fold to that guy's 4-bet earlier, I know he's got folds in him. So because I know this guy can fold if someone's showing strength, I'm going to 3-bet him here. Just see what he does, hopefully take it down. If not, I'm pretty sure he'll find a fold on the flop. He 4-bets me, I'm just going to shove him. I don't believe him for a second. I know he knows the 3-betting game, and he does fold. That was a good read there. Pretty risky though, right? That was very risky. But I just think if he did have a decent hand, he'd probably just be calling on the button. That was pretty risky though. But my read was right. I can kind of spot what I'm good at spotting, like what type of player I'm playing against. And I know what his kind of player, this kind of player here, I should probably put that name. I'm just going to make this note better about the pot earlier. He bluff 3-bet the small bet raise and folded to a 4-bet. 4-bet my 3-bet raise out the small blind and folded to a shove. Probably put my shove. Actually, I'll just put that he was on the button when I was small blind and folded to my shove. Yeah, that's good. Another thing I wanted to talk to you lot about is I have actually got Hold'em Manager. Like, I don't know if a lot of you know about Hold'em Manager, that thing with all the stats and that. I have actually got it, and I did pay for it when I had my student loan, and I do think it's well good. But at university, I was spending a lot of time down the casino playing poker, and like before that I was really reliant on Hold'em Manager. I'd sit down at a table and would just base my decisions on like all the stats. But when you go and play poker live, you don't have those stats. I'm going to raise this on the button. You don't have those stats, so I'm just going to fold to this guy. He's just too crazy, doesn't respect any raises. And it looks quite value betting. Yeah, when you play poker live down a casino, you don't have Hold'em Manager. And I was thinking, if you really wanted to develop as a player, like when you play live, you need to be making the same kind of judgments that you would like using Hold'em Manager, like, oh look at this guy, he's playing way too many hands, blah 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 blah. But you need to be doing that live and without all the numbers. And I just think Hold'em Manager's like spoon feeding you, and if you go through your whole life being spoon fed, you're not going to know how to cook your own dinner, are you? So I thought, I'm just not going to use it anymore, because I think not using Hold'em Manager in the long term will, especially on 6 max when you're sitting down at a table with new people like almost every time, there's just no point in it. However, I can see a good defense for Hold'em Manager being that if you're one of these MTT regs who's playing like the Sunday Million every time, or one of the smaller amounts of players, like I would free bet him, but I think he's going to be pissed off from earlier, so I'm not going to bother. I'll wait for it and get him. What was I saying? Yeah, if you're one of these people who plays the MTTs, like the $215 regular ones, and you're playing with the same people all the time, it's quite good to build a stats base up on them. Oh, what a perfect spot for a squeeze. I could just flat this on the button. Ratty's calling any kind of free bet with Jack Queen and whatnot. Oops. I probably should have flatted that on the button. Oh well.